Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Tetrad TV. That's right, 10 whole episodes right here on Tetrad. It's so exciting. We have an amazing show lined up for you tonight. Tonight is Metalshade. That's right, Metalshade Comics. We have co-creator of Metalshade here on the show. He'll be with us here in just a second, but Izik Bell will be interviewing him here tonight, and we are all so excited. We can't wait. So welcome everybody. I'm Neelink. We've got Hand Grenade, Last Pen Fighter, and Raccoon Eyes here. What have you guys been up to this week? Raccoon, let's start with you. What's up?
Oh, well, with me, I have been doing a whole lot of Elite. Playing games with you or playing on my own, just kind of traveling, doing space things, exploration, the normal, blowing up ships, getting blown up quite a bit. That's my life. Not a whole heck of a lot outside of that, but I'm excited to do some of the same thing next week as well. What about you, Pen Fighter?
Yeah, so one of those people that watched her die a lot was me. Definitely playing some Elite Dangerous with her. We had a great week. Pen Fighter Posse. We celebrated those 500 follows with a giant stream. Almost made it 24 hours.
Almost.
But I
Yeah, you got 20.
20 and a half. I got 20 and a half in, and then I hit that point where it's time to crash, right? I had to stop.
I went after... The next day I went in and I checked those hours just to see. I'm holding to those 4 hours sometimes.
I know. I was trying, but I definitely got to the point. It was time to cut. But we had a lot of fun, guys. It was a great week. But it's been a lot of those space games. We also tried a lot of new stuff. So we'll talk about a couple of those that we tried. We tried Grounded. We tried Carry On. We did Journey to the Savage Planet. So great week, Pen Fighter Posse. You guys rock. Grenade, what's up with you?
Oh man, because of you, I got a new addiction, man. Rogue Company, man.
Yeah.
I actually stopped. I was enjoying the shit out of Ghost of Tsushima, man. That storyline's great. The gameplay is great. A lot of it is different. Like some things in feudal Japan didn't happen during that time period, but they put it in there for the sake of the game. I was loving it, having a blast with it. Then here comes Pen Fighter strolling in with Rogue Company, and I couldn't get off of it, man. This game is
it. I like the imagery. Rogue Company splat.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. But so you guys know me and Clink were talking about it. You know how I kind of give a little update on my kid going on every week, right?
Yep.
Well, I'm actually going to start calling it News from the Front Lines because it's a fucking war with this kid.
Beep, 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 beep. What's going on in World War II? Let's check with our front line.
Exactly. Seriously, that's exactly what it is, man. So I'm sleeping out cold, right? I was helping my grandmother at the garage sale, right? From someone who just passed away. We're doing an estate sale. But anyways, it was hot. I'm in Nevada, obviously. And I got home. I was up at 4 a.m. I got home and I told my girlfriend I'm going to sleep. She's like, oh, the baby's in there taking a nap. I was like, cool. And this kid's got like a sixth sense when I'm around. He's like, oh, dad's home. I'm gonna fuck with you. So I lay down. And as soon as I get my eyes closed, you know how as soon as you start dozing off, you hear a loud noise, something happens, you wake up and you're all jumpy and startled, Well, this kid didn't make a loud noise or startle. He hit me in the face with my own cell phone.
Oh my goodness.
I woke up and swung. And I looked down and he's like, Daddy? I was like, I can't be mad at you. So I put him back in his crib, right? And then all of a sudden I hear just high-pitched screaming. I was like, what the hell's going on? I run in there and he's literally climbed out of his bed cage, or we call it a cage. Well, it's a prison. And his leg is caught in between a panel and his bed or his crib, right? But not only is his leg and he's caught between it. He's got the twig and two berries caught because he tore off his diaper. And he's looking at me, the saddest face in the world.
Oh my God.
I'm laughing my ass off at him. I couldn't stop, and he was mad at me. I grabbed him and he grabbed my face and he just gave me a kiss. Then he hit me. I was like, man, kid, I can't. There's just nothing I can do to be mad at you. So, but
Tales from the Front Lines.
Yeah, exactly. We should do a stinger for that, and it did the music from what was that? Tales from the Dark Side or whatever, or the Twilight Zone.
No, we should go even further back to The Shadow.
Oh my God, I can't believe you know that show. Of
course I do,
man. I loved that show when I was growing up, and had the black and white imagery that kept flashing. Anyways, from Tales from the Front Line, man, how you doing, Spence? What have you been doing, bro?
Man, you know what? So last week we announced all these new games coming out, and I was really excited about the amount of fun that I was going to have over the week. So I ended up purchasing Destroy All Humans, Grounded, and Otherside. And I played all three of them. Destroy All Humans, fantastic remaster. Like it really encapsulates that feel of the original Destroy All Humans, and it really fun game. Thoroughly
Is it
enjoyed
an
it.
actual remaster, or are we just
It is
talking
an
reskin?
actual remaster from the ground up. Beautiful, loved it. Like, you know how I feel about remasters, and this
Oh, I
this
know.
was a
You
good
love 'em.
remaster. Uh-huh.
Yeah, totally.
Every
And
part
then
about 'em, you love 'em.
Grounded just came out, which basically is the video game version of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, where you have to you wake up, you're this teenager who wakes up and you're small and you're in the middle of this field and have to fend for yourself, which has awesome multiplayer. You can do base building and kind of explore this front yard of being shrunken and figure out what happened to you and how to get big again. So I played a little bit of that and then played Otherside, which is awesome. It felt like fully Dungeons and Dragons style turn-based combat, but it was just about the combat, and the artistic
Very good.
stuff on that was just so cool with the black and white with minimal color here and there. Really cool games, and I'm very excited that I got to play all of them this week. And then I already pre-purchased Fall Guys, which we talked about a few weeks ago with Devolver. Can't wait. That's going to be so much fun with
That looks colorful and fun. That's like the
ridiculous
exact opposite of
Royale amazingness. So anyway, that's what I've been doing this week, and can't wait to play some Fall Guys and some Elite Dangerous this next week. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. All right, so it is time. Welcome, Izik Bell, to Tetrad TV. We're so excited to have you here, man.
All right. Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me on.
There
Yeah,
he
of
is.
course. So Izik Bell is the co-creator of Metalshade. Metalshade is a comic book series that is just starting to come out right now. They're independent comic book developers, I guess you could say. Metalshade takes place in a dystopian world where special abilities run wild. And Metalshade is a lethal strike team of exotic anti-heroes with powers. So we have a quick trailer that we're gonna run, and everybody just look at some of this art, listen to the awesome background music. Here we go. All right, Metalshade. We are so excited to have Izik here. Izik, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I've just been sitting here in my basement working on issue 3 all day. So it's coming along. And it's a little weird because I don't usually interact with other humans. So,
Right?
but I'm going to do the best I can. And you all seem like wonderful people so far. So I think it should be good.
All but Spence.
Oh,
Okay.
our true colors will show by the end of the Nerdcast.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There we
I
go.
already know about you, Matt.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Full disclosure, I do know this guy.
Fighter.
Great dude right here.
So, throughout the beginning of this episode, Isaac, you've been working on this this sketch. Penn, why don't you let our viewers know a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Isaac's actually been working on something really special for you guys. We're going to give this away at the end of the interview with our friend Izik Bell here. So stick around, hang out, and we'll give a chance for you guys to roll for that. You got the
Man, you
long
made
journey
that sound so weak, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's a signed sketch.
There you go.
I'm excited about
At
it.
the end of the show, stick around.
Nate
That's
knows what
right.
he's talking about.
I'm feeling your energy, Grenade. I'm just not Grenade.
Yeah. I'm fucking stoked, man. Like this, like I was stoked. I'm stoked. That's all I can say, man.
I
There's
appreciate
no
it.
one.
I couldn't contain, but like the pre-production meeting we just had for like 2.5 hours. I was like trying to keep everything in, and I couldn't.
Yeah,
So I'm stoked we're actually live right now.
this is a really special moment for us at Tetrad because we finally have an interview with an independent creator. It makes us excited. Isaac's excited to be here. We can't wait to start unpacking Metalshade, comics in general, this guy's story, because I really want to get into that. So we have a lot for you guys tonight. I know this is a little bit different from the normal format. Normally we're already jumping into news and getting into that stuff. Tonight we're going to hang out with Isaac, and then we'll get to that news stuff at the end as far as what's coming out for video games and comic books and TV shows. So you guys can hang out for that for a little bit later, but for now, we're going to go ahead and dive right in. I know that Grenade is sitting on a bunch of hot topic questions that he wants to ask, but let's start with Neelink. Let's get into the basics. Let's talk a little Metalshade.
Hole.
make him simmer. He's pulled the pin on that grenade, but we're going to make that grenade it's going to cook for a minute, and then we'll throw that.
Grenade.
So, Isaac, in your own words, like what is Metalshade all about for viewers that don't really know what Metalshade is?
Man, that's really the most difficult question for me. Honestly, I have the worst time. Before we launched the book, and I was able to actually write out like so many of the ideas and everything. I would be in these situations where I had to give elevator pitches, and I would always make it sound so lame. And do you guys curse on this show? Because I'm not.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just said the F word like 3 times already, man. So
Okay, see, that shows how much it registers for me. But yeah, I mean, the problem I have with that is the storyline is complex, and there's so much of it in my head. I don't know how to distill it down into the essence of what it is. So, I guess I could say that Metalshade, in a way, is just kind of a vehicle for me to tell the stories that are kind of bubbling up inside my brain. So, and I'm able to do that through the comic. So it is, the basics of it is Metalshade is a strike team. So they are kind of like a harder edged, more anti-hero type, superhero team. But they do exist in this, more kind of a cyberpunk type dimension that does have a lot of fantasy elements mixed in as well. And the storyline is following mostly 2 main characters, one of whom is corporate head, who is basically playing politics to gain all kinds of power in this world, and using this this strike team to do a lot of the dirty work. And she's so brilliant; she's able to manipulate all of these situations, and get this strike team to really do what she wants them to do. And the other main character is both her like best friend and biggest nemesis in a way, that the one member clever enough to eventually figure everything out. But I don't want to get too far ahead. But
Well,
no, that's perfect.
was
man.
that
great.
horrible?
No, that was
No.
great.
Perfect elevator pitch. I love it. That's
Okay.
great. So
what kind
So-
of music would you be playing with that elevator pitch? Like the
Oh,
I think the one we heard in the trailer,
No.
right?
yeah.
Fair
Um,
point, Clink.
Right. So how did you get into kind of this self-published kind of comic book thing, because you've been doing art and comics for years now, right? For basically forever. How did this come to fruition of Metalshade actually being a comic?
This has been my, lifelong goal. It sounds kind of pathetic, but this is what I've been working towards. When I was uh, in my early teen years, all the way towards my like early to mid 20s, like I was really obsessed with the early image comic revolution that happened in the comic industry, where all of these creators took their own ideas and did their own thing and left the big corporate comic companies. So that's always been what I've been aiming for.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I've wanted to do from the beginning. So, but man, it's a hard thing to accomplish. So it took a lot of years of what you see in the this comic, this first issue. There's so much like pre-production type stuff, like there's so much world building and character design and character development and all of these things that went into it before ever doing a single panel in that first issue. So it was just a long process. A lot of it was just me. I spent a lot of time in my head, a lot of time working these stories out and the characters and figuring out who they are just in my head. So, and after so many years of doing that, I got to a point where I feel like I have a good grasp on who they are and what the world is like. So when I go in and start writing the scenes, things kind of fall into place because you know who they are, how they'll act in certain situations, and everything
Now,
like that.
speaking to that kind of world building, do you have a formula or anything for building these worlds and finding these characters' backstories and kind of the sci-fi dystopian universe that Metalshade takes place in?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely I actually pace a lot. I pace and I think,
You pace
and
and think?
I pace and think.
Mhm.
So, and I lay stuff out in my head and jot it down, and but a lot of it all is just like it's I've thought about it for so long that it's just there. It's like that world is kind of there. It's pretty well developed at this point, so it's it's kind of a nice resource to just be able to go into my thoughts and be like, how would this play out?
Yeah, I think this is a good time to talk about your inspirations, right? Because I feel like there's some heavy inspiration in this comic, and the edition that we got to read, the first issue that you sent for us to read. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definite influences that are there that gave you some of these ideas. It looks like I just kind of want to touch on those, if you don't mind. Just kind of tell us what kind of got you on this track. Like, hey, I want to make comics because this one was cool, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course, I definitely grew up reading comics all the time,
Mhm.
and especially aesthetically. I was heavily influenced by, the era I grew up in, which was the early '90s, or all the way through the '90s into the early 2000s,
Mhm.
and so aesthetically, it's a lot of those early image artists. But as far as the story goes, you know, I guess one big influence that we kind of touched on before the
Mhm.
show started was Joseph Campbell, and just
Right.
the he laid the framework for the hero's journey, and it made a lot of sense to me as I was able to relate things that happen in my own life to that story structure and realize that that's what these comics actually are. They're the good ones are, the good ones really touch on that and really hit those stages of development in that journey. So that's really what influenced me to write the story the way I'm doing it. And it's you know everything I'm doing, I'm trying to inject my personality and kind of my life essence into this story structure with my own characters and everything, and that's definitely the template. So I
The
mean,
passion's there, man. I can feel it just looking through the pages, the characters, everything, dude. The passion's there. I see that life essence, the Izik Bell essence has been injected into
that's
these
good to hear.
characters.
I think that's a
right.
good reference off to the line work and such like that. So the line work itself is absolutely gorgeous. You can check out his Kickstarter or see some of the art that we've laid out there. It's very detailed. Every part of the image, you can see something's there, something to look at, something to view. What inspired your style? Like I compared it a little bit to Witchblade and just how it looks. Where's your artistic inspiration come from?
Yeah, Witchblade was definitely a huge inspiration.
Mm.
And you know what's funny about it is you grow up reading these comics, you absolutely love them, and you really internalize those art styles that you love. And then, for me, when I do my own stuff, I'm like, I'm not thinking about Witchblade or any of those awesome artists that I love. I'm just trying to do my thing. But then when it comes out, it's like, man, those were the building blocks for me to learn actually how to draw in the first place. So that's all of it is injected into what I'm doing. So yeah, Michael Turner, Witchblade, a lot of the early image guys. There's a guy named Stephen Platt that I was a huge fan of growing up. And I was really drawn to the very stylized, very detailed, kind of over the top. It's ridiculous in a really cool way. The way they depict human form, and these dudes with just like insane, massive muscles and veins popping out of everywhere, and these,
Yeah.
just all of that stuff. For some
What
reason, just yeah.
So
fantastic.
no, you go ahead. Go ahead, Rick.
Of course. No problem.
We're all interrupting
So-
you.
It's okay. I'm used to it. What was your history before this? Like you got this comic in your head. It sounds like it's a vehicle for your imagination entirely. Every part of it is just an experience that you've either felt or you want to display, and it's built in there. Um, Growing up, like, did you go to like art college, writing, anything like that? What was your experiences that led you to this point?
Yeah, so my I was very undisciplined, and I was lazy about practicing, and I was
Same.
yeah, it was and it's a shame that, but I think that was just a part of my development, and I had to be that irresponsible, immature, just kind of screwing off, to get to that point where I was like, okay, if I really want to do this, that has to stop, and I have to make some sacrifices in my life and really focus on this stuff. So I did go to art school right out of high school, and I completely just fucked off. I dropped out after a few months. I ended up, I was like 19, like not had no idea what I was doing. No discipline, wouldn't hold down a job. I mean, I was kind of a loser, But so with no prospects, I ended up joining the Navy, and which is like, I'm a weirdo. Like this like highly
weirdo.
structured this like highly structured militaristic setting was like so bizarre to me, and it was just like, I remember being in boot camp like, what the hell did I get myself into? Like, this is insane.
Oh,
But
man.
I remember those days for sure, man.
you've been there, huh? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, me too.
I
Boot
love
camp,
it so much. I spent 10 years in, man.
Yeah.
I think I did more laughing in basic training though than I did fucking going, what the hell did I do, man? All the dumb things that happened,
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So that I mean, as much of as weird of a setting as that is for someone like me, I did learn self-discipline there, and that has been such a huge key
Yeah.
for any success I've enjoyed since then.
That's definitely the topic here for a lot. Of course, I deal with a lot as a content creator and as like a dude that talks to everybody. That's how I met you, right? Over at I Want More Comics. You had your booth set up. I couldn't help but come and talk to you. Like that's the way I am. And where you're at that stage, even then when I met you, that summer not realizing is part of the path, right? To content creation, where at some point you have to treat it like a job. You actually have to knuckle down and do it. You can't just sit around at home and work on a little bit and then work on this a little bit, work on that a little bit, and hope it all comes together. You have to bring it together. You have to treat it like a day-to-day job.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Am I good to ask questions now? Can I ask a question?
No, you're still in silence. No, you're good. Please ask away. Jump in.
Later.
I will
Later.
fucking start screaming if I have to.
Let's go,
I
Grenade.
will do it. So, when I was reading your comic, man, the things that were playing through my head were the old heavy metal cartoon. If you remember that, the early '90s postmodern image, like you said earlier, which Raccoon brought it up, which I thought was rad. The early Todd McFarlane type-esque drawings, the thick outlines for the comics. And I also had that. Me and Penn were also talking about it, and campy's not the right word, but for the writing on it, like it felt like it was the new postmodern, highly colorful heavy metal mixed with an old school type writing form to it. When you were sitting down and writing your comic or putting pen to paper or drawing the character, what was going through your head? Like, how did your creative process start? Like, is this originally what your characters looked like, or did they evolve? Is this like, say, your Vexa or your Riplock, or is it Cryptor, right? Cryptor. I'm saying
Yeah, you
right?
got it. You got it.
Because Cryptor reminds me of like, do you remember like a smarter version of Solomon Grundy type deal? Just tough. So I was wondering how you went from how your process worked with these characters. What was the evolution before you actually got them published? Before you're happy with them?
Well, it was a lot of just drawing terrible character designs and writing terrible scripts and just doing a lot of really crappy work and not being never of course not being content with it, but also not allowing that to be where it rested,
You didn't let it get too precious, right?
Right.
Yeah, so it was definitely an evolution. So it was, drawing these designs over and over and letting them evolve to a point to where I thought they actually looked cool. And that didn't happen until very recently, like maybe in the past, like 3 to 4 years.
I feel like that had to be a hard process, because with any human, like I know with my channel and building on it, I've got Clink, I got Penn, I got Raccoon. Like, hey, you could do this. Raccoon doing smart for me. Penn did a lot of my work on my channel, but when I'm looking at it, I'm sitting there going, it could be better. It could be better. I feel like that's a human trait, that you're your own worst judge. Do you still feel like your characters are good? Do you feel like you could improve on them anymore? Or do you feel like they're just at that perfect spot for you?
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, they definitely can and will improve for sure. And I have a ton of shortcomings that I'm constantly trying to work on. But man, I had a point I was going to make, but I lost it.
I'm so sorry, dude.
But,
Well,
Grenade does that to us all.
No,
on
it was
that-
about what you just asked me too. But I'm tired too. But
on
no,
that same note, any aspiring comic book artist or any artist out there, what advice would you give them?
In my opinion, a lot of what it is perseverance and not giving up on yourself. Because there are so many points in my life where I could have been like, yeah, like it would have been cool if I got into comics, but like, I have this job, or I have this nice apartment, I have this nice life that I can live, and maybe I won't accomplish my dreams, but I'll be happy. And so, like with my case, and everyone's so different, like we all have different levels of talent, different levels of work ethic, and all of these things. So I think for me, it was just like sticking to it, and just not giving up. I mean, and doing lots of like getting through all the terrible work you have to do to get to the good stuff. So, and I know some people are so talented, they just start off, like Joe Mad working for Marvel when he's 18 or something, and that's great for him. But don't let that make you feel like you're not going to make it because you're.
Somebody
He
younger
also
did
had
it,
family that had already worked for Marvel too, so he had a foothold in the door.
See, yeah, you don't know people's,
Story.
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So
Yeah, now some of your story, Isaac, goes here to Denver, where I am local, where we met. Where there's a whole scene here of aspiring comic book writers and artists, and I definitely wanted to touch on that with you, just kind of get some insider information into that kind of scene and how it's working, and if that influenced your process, if that's kind of what helped you get started, or if it was something that you had to kind of block out so you could move forward professionally.
Um, the comic community, the indie creator community in Denver is just incredible. Like I've never experienced anything like that before or since, to be honest. Um, it's very well organized. They
Right.
have a ton of they have meetings every week. They have where like tons of people actually show up and sit around and draw and talk about what they're doing and working towards. It's an amazing community in Denver, and so before I moved to Denver, I was actually living up in Montana in this tiny little cabin,
Wow.
I was trying to get good enough to actually make a living off my art at that point in time. And once I started actually making a living wage, that's when I moved to Denver because I knew I realized I needed to be able to do conventions and like actually get out and network and promote. And so it was so easy to plug into that community. Everyone was so welcoming, like, oh, another artist, like, hey, this is where we meet up. And they're all there to help and support each other, so it's a great community. So personally, I was a bit of an outsider, like I'm not from there. um, you know as much as they welcomed me in and everything, I had a lot of fun with those guys. And if you are an aspiring artist in the Denver area, definitely look up the comic book groups on Facebook and stuff, and start talking to people because they're so welcoming. They'll bring you right in.
That's awesome. Yeah, see, hopefully we can get back in and move to Denver. That'd be great. Come on.
So,
Subtle
growing
pitch.
up, part of your story, what comic books were you most fond with growing up? From like say your early teens to where you actually started understanding the comic books to your adulthood. Like what are the comic books that you resonate most with from other writers, other illustrators?
Yeah, so I'll give you the rundown there. Like the first comics I ever read were Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, Amazing Spider-Man. I was a little kid. They had a huge impact on me. The way Stan Lee writes, I actually personally absolutely love, and I actually use Stan Lee's method of writing for Metalshade, the Marvel way, which is where you plot with the art and then you go in and set up the dialogue and everything. So that's where I started. I got really into. I loved Marvel. I got really into Thor. I also read, Batman, Avengers, anything I could get my hands on. Getting into my early teen years, I was unnecessarily angsty, and
we all went through that phase, man. The
Aren't
Edgelord
we
phase.
all?
Oh yeah.
My
Yep.
Chemical Romance years.
Yeah.
yeah. See, I think I'm a little bit older than you. Then it was the Marilyn Manson years for me.
Oh,
Yeah,
bro,
that's what I had.
I'm 35, man, so I know
35.
exactly
Oh, okay.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so I really wanted to be gothic, and my mom wouldn't let me, and there was a
Aw.
lot of friction there. It was rough.
Hey, count yourself lucky you didn't have to wear those big ass pants, man. Just count yourself lucky.
I wasn't allowed to wear big ass pants. I
With
wasn't.
20 zippers, 10 on each side, and yeah.
Right?
The more zippers, the better.
Yes, sir.
Trip
So during
jeans,
those
right?
Edgelord years, what were you reading? What were your comic books?
So
It's
that's
just-
when I got into the early Image stuff, and
Oh right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I loved Stephen Platt. His art was just insane, just absurdly detailed and over the top. He did work on a series called Prophet. There was like one issue that he drew and inked himself, and it's just insane. It's crazy, and he's so critical of himself. He hates that work apparently, and it had a massive influence on me. But yeah, it was the early Image stuff. It was very violent and over the top.
Yeah, a
And
lot of
then
those top stuff,
Table.
like the muscles on top of the muscles, and
Yeah.
yeah, mhm.
That was
all
one of my
the like a million gritted teeth.
yeah.
like Bugs Bunny from was it Space Jam when he drank the water and muscles just popped up
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yes.
Well, his Wolverine cable.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah,
So,
those
and that was my teen years, and well into my early 20s. And I think like back then, especially when I was a kid, like it was definitely about the art for me, you know. And so now it's, you know, I read a lot of the current Image stuff. I think that you know, I'm a huge fan of Seven to Eternity and, you know, East of West, Monstrous, all of that stuff, and I get really into the stories, and I love the literature of it. So I've had kind of an evolution myself, you know, going from the like just really attracted to the exciting, flashy art, and then realizing like that I wanted that with some substance, you know, and that's really what I'm trying to do with Metalshade. So
give it some substance. Yeah, well, that first issue kind of transitioning into jumping and unpacking this a little bit. That first issue definitely lays a groundwork for this very detailed and rich dystopian universe with these team of anti-heroes.
thank you.
The groundwork is definitely there, and I'm excited to kind of see. I know you don't want to talk too much about it, but do you have this vision of each book for Metalshade being kind of like focusing on the group as a whole as they're going through, or is it going to be disparate stories that kind of tell a whole in each issue? Like what are you kind of going for? What's your narrative design?
Yeah, so right now, like these first 4 issues are absolutely, like you said, setting things up. So there's a lot of things that I want to get into, but I feel like that setup is so important, laying that foundation, and especially as someone who does, you know, goes for that like kind of flashy early Image style artwork. I have these kind of insecurities where I'm like, so not starting page one with a huge splash page, you know, like we're starting with dialogue and we're starting with character development and world building, because, you know, all of the criticism that those artists that, you know, I emulate got was about their lack of substance. And it was like just guys hitting each other and like spouting off one-liners, and it was like if you go and try and read that stuff as an adult, it's kind of stupid, you know. Beautiful art, those guys are my heroes, but
It was Puddle Deep, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's fair to say. I think they know it. I think they know it was Puddle Deep too. It's just the big flashy things sold.
and they got rich off of it. They made a ton of money. They were very successful, so nothing
Right,
against.
Yeah, Puddle Deep. You definitely hit the substance home on this first issue for sure. That's definitely here's lots of exposition. There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of exposition.
So, looking at your comic, man, I was noticing it earlier. Like I'm a big fan of the story, but like Raccoon, I think one of the things that draw me to comics is artwork. Like I love artwork, man. Like there's a couple questions I want to ask you about your artwork, because if anybody hasn't seen it, I don't know how much we can let you see or anything, but go to the website, take a look at it. It seems like you have a bigger picture with panels inside that picture, and you draw into the gutters. what gave you the idea for that type of paneling design? Is that like your own? Did you get it from another comic? Because it's completely like, it's not how you've done it is new. Like I haven't seen anything really like that. And I've read a lot of comics, man. Um, I could see an HR Geiger comic kind of being like that, but
That's fair. Good call.
what
Yeah.
what
High praise.
Yeah.
I dig it,
You're
man.
good, man.
Thank you.
What gave you the idea for your panel layouts? Like, is there like a certain methodology you have, or do you just kind of put blocks where they fit type deal?
There's definitely a methodology. And you know, going back to like, all the stuff that I've been reading over the years and the stuff that I really love, and I just kind of internalize all of it and absorb it. And then, I definitely, I'm absolutely sure that the stuff that I'm doing is me taking pieces from here and there and all this stuff that's just like in my head, from reading comics my whole life and like trying to do my own thing with it. So those, lateral 2-page spread type panels that I'm doing, I love working that way because there's so much more space. I feel like there's more I can do with it. There's more room to just be creative and have fun with it. And, you know, there were a lot of really cool 2-page spread layouts in the early image stuff. And those were kind of like the best parts of the comics, especially when it was just all the art. It was like, those were always my favorite parts. So I know there's a artist named Will Spertasio that did a lot of really cool 2-page spread panel work like that. And I want to say that he definitely had an influence because I just loved the way he did those. So, and I don't think my stuff actually looks like his.
No,
but,
it's real good though, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at the page with the train, and you got Vexa, like the panels of Vexa, and then you got her drawn between two of the panels and in the gutter, and it creates a like almost like a collage and a huge dynamic like setting that like I can almost picture that scene in my head like moving. You know what I mean? I think like is that what you're trying to go for? Are you trying to have like because honestly, you could probably tell a story just by drawing, man. I'm
Absolutely.
honest to God, like I wish we could like put more out here, but we can't, guys. So go look. I beg you to go look.
It's good.
The imagery itself is just as much of a story as the word bubbles and thought bubbles and everything like that. It's intense.
Absolutely. And I think I relate to you, Grenade, when I said like the images itself is so dynamic. It draws your eyes in. And I found myself staring a lot more at the actual line work, the coloring. Alexa is fantastic. She does an amazing job in this issue. I enjoyed every page I saw. Visually, it was stunning.
Okay.
And then you go back in and you read it, and it has interesting dialogue, and it has a dynamic universe. You can definitely go in and you can see everything that you're building up to. There's a lot of content there that grasps you, and you want to know what the actual story will be after we get through the content.
Yeah, that's
Well,
good.
that's great to hear.
No,
I actually,
she's 100% right, man. We were sitting there. Her and I talk a lot of art sometimes, and we were both talking about the color palette. Like, where did you get the idea for the color palette that you're using?
we get it. That's all Alexa. So she did all the color design. So, and also if the viewers aren't aware, my fiance did all the colors for the comic, and she edits my script. And the comic would absolutely not exist without her. Like she was another big part of the equation because when we started hanging out, she just kind of showed me the ropes on a lot of things, especially doing conventions and like how to.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, she's social butterfly, right?
She's well at the conventions. She sure
At
is.
the conventions, right? Exactly. Like
Other than that, she's a hermit.
She puts on that face, and then she goes into her little shell, right? Like she's good. Did you meet her here in Denver at this whole scene?
I met her in Seattle at a Emerald City Comic Convention. So, and that's when I was living in Montana, trying to develop my style. And she was already established doing conventions, like full-time artist. And I came across her table and was just like blown away by her art. And she wasn't there. Her mom was watching the booth, and she's like, yeah, you have to come back and meet the artist, meet my daughter. And and then when I came back and met her, I was pretty smitten. So and then
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
so things from there.
I'm sorry,
So-
guys. I have a million questions, so just interrupt
Go
me.
ahead.
Go
Do
ahead.
it.
But if someone were to kind of like want to enter your mind through like types of music or movies or even anime, or what would you tell people like your interests are right now uh as who you are? Like what have you been watching? What kind of music? What kind of artwork? What comics? What anything that you like your anything that you like? What would you tell people like kind of to get to know you a little bit more?
Yeah. So I sit here and draw all day. So
I like it.
I listen to we always have music on, or we will have maybe audio books, or a lot of YouTube, a lot of any kind of story I can just listen to help me draw. It makes the day go by. I listen to mostly darker, more devious kind of electronic music. That's
Yeah.
Yes, I
Oh,
like
yeah.
It's mostly what I listen to now. I was
Good stuff.
more of a metalhead growing up, but
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
What metal did you listen to?
Well, let's see, man. When I was in high school, it was Nine Inch Nails, Marilyn Manson,
Oh, there we go.
Deftones.
that. He's
Oh,
definitely
man.
Death Lord.
I
Yeah,
got-
definitely.
I got 3 Deftones tattoos, man. I love the tones.
oh yeah, man, that stuff was so amazing. Like, just especially at the time, because no one had ever heard anything like that.
Mhm.
So
Oh yeah, it was so different.
Well, and
Alright.
so speaking to some of that, how did you just describe that? The deviant kind of music, the deviant
deviant.
artwork. I like that description because how do you feel about comics of other eras versus comic books now, where we're kind of seeing this new style, this more gritty style, um, and how does that relate to Metalshade?
Um, let's see. Well, in my opinion, the state of the comic industry now is super diverse. Like
Mm-hmm.
like when I was going to comic shops as a kid growing up, it was a lot more like, okay, you got your Marvel and DC, you've got your and who still somewhat had house styles, at that time. And I guess DC's still definitely does. But now it's like like if you want to go work for Marvel, you don't have to have a Marvel house style. You just have to have cool looking art, interesting art, and be able to tell a story. Um, and especially at like Image and all these other smaller comic companies that have tons of titles. Like, there's just so much different stuff that you can get, which is amazing. And I kind of go back and forth from reading stuff from my childhood or from my formative years, and then reading the current stuff that's coming out. So, and it's so different. The stuff coming out in the 90s was kind of corny, and it had a very
Oh, for
specific
sure.
art
Yeah.
style. Yeah.
Have you ever thought about trying to take and applying to work with say like Image or Variant or Marvel or anything like that? Taking Vexa over to hang out with Moon Knight or anything like that? Or what's
So-
got you grounded on working on your own comic?
Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely love to do like some stuff with Marvel or DC, but it would be purely for the street cred, just to
Right.
get,
Fucking
get my name out there more and bring it back to Metalshade, because I mean, there's nothing more fulfilling than doing your own stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that being the can of worms that we just opened up, if you got to pick a character, who would you draw for? Like if somebody, Image, Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, if somebody hit you up and they're like, we want you to do a run with this character, who would you want that to be?
You better say Moon Knight or
Prophet.
Batman.
What'd you say?
Prophet. Hey, Moon Knight. would be-
Prophet.
Nice.
Moon Knight
choice.
might be second, but yeah, it's a Prophet. I would love to do Prophet. It's a pretty obscure character, but
Bro, I feel like
no-
your Prophet would be, or your fucking Moon Knight would just be awesome.
I love Hugh would probably.
Yeah, I kind of agree there, man. I've read the Moon Knight. That type of style mixed with the storyline, it would jump off the pages. It'd be super sweet.
I've never really read much Prophet, but I googled it while you were just talking about it. Prophet's pretty rad looking, for sure.
Dope. Prophet's
Yeah.
really good, man. I like that.
Well-
but you guys haven't seen his Wolverine, so that's why. That's what's
Do you
in
have
my
a
head.
Wolverine?
I
Do you
said-
have a Wolverine? Do
I
you have a
saw him draw
Wolverine?
Wolverine, man, and
So
yeah,
I-
with somebody.
Isaac, in some of our researching for this interview, I went through and looked at some of the other artwork that you've done, and I put that up on the
Yeah, there we
screen
go.
now for our viewers to see. But on like your artist page, you can see a lot of these traditional superheroes that you've done your own take on, and some of these are really cool. Like you can tell your line work is just amazing, like the shading, just everything about it. I love it, and
Oh,
I
man.
can't wait to see where Metalshade goes with this idea that you've kind of brought to the front table now.
Look at those
um,
Batman.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
Direct
seeing
animation.
so much like Dark Knight Batman, the older gritty look. I'm seeing that in your art and loving it.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Where can our viewers pick up a copy of Metalshade? I know before the show we were talking a little bit about how it's not on sale yet, but you do have a potential release date coming up soon. When is that, and where can our viewers go to when it is live?
Okay, so right now we're waiting for the books to ship here. So everything was finalized in the printing stage about a week ago. So, and they printed in Taiwan. So now we have like a good, maybe 2 to 4 week wait before we receive them. And then we get to pack up and ship out 750 different Kickstarter pledges. So that's going to be a fun task for me and Alexa. So,
Oh yeah.
and once Kickstarter is fulfilled and the amazing people who funded this book and made it possible,
Huge congrats
get
there,
their
by the
stuff.
way.
Thank you. And once they have their stuff, we will do a big official launch with our store. So the plan is to just sell it in our store and out at the conventions for now. So we did have a publishing deal, and we were going to get into the retail market in February. But we took a step back from that, and we are kind of weighing our options. So we will get into the retail market eventually, but it's kind of one step at a time. We're a lot better at just the creative side than all of this other stuff that we have to figure out and learn to be able
And
to
once you guys do get that store live, I know we were talking about earlier, but once you get into the retail market, those will be secondary prints. But the ones that you have on the store after Kickstarters are filled are going to be first prints, like collector Metalshade. So, and comic book collectors out there,
Yeah.
where to get it.
I'm gonna get my mitts on some of that. Sure.
It's a
Can you still pledge?
very low print run. So yeah, what's that?
Are you guys still pledging? We noticed your goal right now. You're at $37,166 on a $3,000 goal. So
Thank
you guys are a little bit better at the back end stuff than you realize.
Oh
And the
yeah.
second part is, can you still pledge in order to get your foot in the door, basically, to get one of those first editions?
Not right now, guys. Unfortunately, we're in this like weird vortex right now. We had problems on the production side of things, and it's definitely set us back. So right now we're in this stage of getting our ducks in a row, so we can, when our books finally come in, we will do the store launch and everything. And once that gets going, there will be stuff available all the time. So we're kind of laying low right now and just working on content.
That's good.
So,
I'm glad we're on this topic because one of the things that's been coming up. So independent comics have skyrocketed, right? Like from where we were even 10 years ago, 8 years ago, even like we're in such a different space. But as a result, now you have a lot more independent creators that are feeling bold and they're stepping out on their own and they're doing stuff and they're getting preyed on. The stories coming out right now of guys coming up with these great publishing deals and it's going to be great for you and awesome for you, but they're preying on artists just like you. Like, how much of that have you seen? I mean, are the ploys getting better, more creative? Are they still obvious? Like, you're obviously trying to take advantage of me. Just kind of tell me give me one or two examples of things that you and Lex have run into throughout this publication process and back end.
yeah, I mean, you hear stories here and there, but our personal experience, basically, once the Kickstarter started generating a lot of money, we started getting messages from all over the place, publishers and, um, uh, I don't know what you would call them, secondhand selling markets.
Right.
I don't know, all kinds of weird stuff on
Brokers, if you will. They want to
I
broker
guess.
your product and get their hands in there as a business owner, right? And like get pieces
Yeah,
of Metalshade and hey, give me 10%, I'll sell 1,000,000 copies.
yeah.
That kind of thing, right? Like, did you have you heard some of that? Have you been getting some of those kind of offers?
Um, so we always just kind of ignored everyone.
Fair enough, right?
Or that.
But there was one lady that she had messaged us through there about doing publishing, and she was really cool, like down to earth. And I think the first message she sent, I don't know if I ignored it or if I was just like, yeah, okay, cool, but we're doing our thing. But she messaged me again about it towards the end of the campaign, where my head was a little bit wasn't so focused on just like trying to do the campaign, and just like, hey, your book looks awesome, I work for a publisher, would you be interested in coming on board? And so it's like that sounds pretty good. Just the idea of having a publisher, because that was never in the plan. It was just like, yeah, we're doing our own thing.
Mhm.
Which is important to us too. Like one of the deals, and we did end up, even signing a 5-year contract with them.
Oh
And
wow.
one of the deals with them was that their logo wouldn't be on the front of our comic, because we wanted it to be like our own thing, separate from everything. But man, it was insane. It was super stressful. That's why we're behind right now with everything. So in the beginning, like we would have these phone meetings with the owner of the company, and he definitely talked a good game, everything they were going to do for us. And but it was also really weird because we would have these phone meetings, and
Sure.
we would talk about business. I really wanted to talk about business and only that, but that would be like maybe 5 minutes of an hour-long conversation of listening to this guy like talk about himself and like
Oh gosh.
what a great publisher he was, and all the stuff that he's printed and all the connections he has in the industry. And he would even like tell me about like how fit he was and stuff, and it's just like really bizarre.
Cringy.
That's weird. He's good at selling himself, I
Vegetarian.
guess.
Yeah.
Got that going
Wow.
for him.
I'd
And
be
So,
you
like,
know
they,
that's really interesting to see some of the difficulties that an independent publishing can cause, and to be wary of some of these things for anyone who wants to get into independent comics, as an artist and writer.
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, there are plenty of traps out there, I guess, and we've run into it is a business, and there are a lot of people out there just trying to make money off of it. So there are plenty of I've had plenty of bad experiences just doing like freelance work and stuff too. We're just getting involved with people that are just, kind of shady about stuff.
Oh my gosh, I've done some freelance writing for some people for some pay, and it's always porn. It always ends up. They promise you it's not
Oh
going to be
my.
porn, and it ends up being porn.
So I think we
That's
have.
why the storylines are so bad.
I think we have
Again,
enough time
no.
for one more question apiece, kind of across the board. So I'll start. Isaac, what if you could have a superpower? What would be your superpower?
Ooh.
I want to be like that guy in Heroes that would like go into a trance and then paint, but I want to draw just like
Oh gosh.
I want to be
That
able to
would be
draw
awesome.
for like I want to be able to just like straight up create for like, months on end, go into this trance and just like,
Mhm.
and come out of it with this like, huge tapestry of all this storytelling on it. That's the power I want.
That's
Yes.
amazing. Great answer. Wow.
Pen, what do you got as your final question?
Yeah. So my final question would be just kind of like where you're seeing this going. Like, are you and Alexa trying to actually establish Akira Kurai Studios as like a publisher of other independent comics, where you guys bring on other artists and use your success in order to branch out and have other people join the label, kind of a situation, or are you just trying to stick to Metalshade and all of that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, we're definitely open to, what happens. But the focus definitely is on our properties, and like, you guys, like all of us, we have a deep love of what like Batman and Moon Knight, and
Sure.
the source material we grew up with, and we've developed this relationship with, and I want to make that happen with our stuff, and it takes time. Like
Mhm.
I think if we can create really good content and get it out there, and over a period of time, people will develop that like kind of love and connection with it too, or at least that's definitely the goal. So the long-term goal is definitely playing in this world and rounding it out more, and trying to build a fan base around it.
My turn.
Yep.
Your turn.
Um, after the show, I would like. Can I message you on
Oh yeah.
Cool, because I got a couple of questions I want to ask you. Because I really want to see your Wolverine, man. I love your artwork, and I would love to see that as Wolverine. Wolverine's my favorite character, man. And you said you grew up as the Batmans and stuff. Honestly, bro, I grew up with the Shadow, the Phantom, and the Green Hornet, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those are all the guys I grew up with. Believe it or not,
Nice.
I used to love the Phantom, man. And when it made a movie, dude, Billy Zane, awesome. But
That's a great movie.
with everything being said and done, at the end of the day, do you feel like you're doing something you're happy doing, or do you feel like you're taking something that you like doing and turning it into a job and you're getting bored of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the misconceptions about like, following your dreams and whatnot. It's like when you start accomplishing your dreams, your life doesn't turn into like sunshine and rainbows. Like
Overnight,
it's still hard. You're still living life. You still have your problems. But I that being said, like I love this shit. Like I get up every morning and I'm excited to get into it and get the flow going, and I feel so good about myself at the end of the day. On the days that I'm very disciplined and I spend the whole day working on it. It's just that great sense of accomplishment at the end of the night.
Oh yeah.
So
Mhm.
it is work, but it's work that you love it.
You're proud of at the end.
Yeah.
I would be fucking proud too, man. It's awesome. You're doing a good job, dude.
Yeah,
Thank
All right.
absolutely.
Raccoon, before
What do you got
we
for
go
him?
into your question,
Wow.
chat, if you guys have any questions as well, we can take like 1, 2, maybe 3 questions from chat for Isaac. So ask any of those in chat, and we'll take a few of those.
Let's do that.
I just
after
wanted to say
announce the
that
game.
before Raccoon starts.
Okay.
Okay.
Go for it,
So
Raccoon.
Wow, so much pressure all of a sudden here. So
We got
random question for you here. Rumbler, character in your comic series, fantastic, adorable little creature. When can I expect to buy that as a stuffed animal?
Out of all the questions you ask, it's a stuffed animal rumbler.
What? What?
I want one too now, though.
I
now
mean,
that
it's
you mentioned
amazing.
it.
That he's wearing too, so I'm on board with this question.
Cool. Yeah, this has actually come up before, believe it or not.
No, we believe that. Yeah.
We need to get on that. I'm glad you brought it up. I'm going to talk to Alexa and see what we can do, and I will definitely let you know. We'll get them up in the shop.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah.
You gonna get any artists doing like statues or action figures like McFarlane?
Oh,
Gonna be
man.
making some rumblers and making some Vexas and stuff, because that would be fucking cool.
Right?
That would be real fucking cool.
Definitely. If the opportunity is there, we will absolutely do all of that stuff.
All right. So, got a question for you. Did you finish your drawing already? Is it all done?
I got a sketch here. How about, let me see if you guys can actually see it in here. It's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Nice.
that's
So,
the creature from Metalshade. So it's basically done, but I'll spend a little bit more time on it. So before it's
Yeah, if you want to
All right,
stay in
yeah.
chat with us while we continue the episode and keep working on that, and we'll display it
We
for
were
everybody
actually-
towards the end of the episode.
we would love for you to stick around with us. Actually, I know we were talking about front loading you, but honestly, you have a lot of cool input, man. This is me
Yeah.
kind of speaking for everybody right now, which I know none of them like, but I got a feeling we're probably all on the same level with this one. We're gonna do some reviews on stuff, some TV shows, some movies. We'd love for you to stick around if you want, but if you have to go, you can go. But with
Sure.
that being said, chat, we're doing a giveaway with that artwork that he's doing right there. I'm gonna open it up here in like 1 second, and I purposely am mind fucking you guys, because the same thing to pull up his information is the same thing to get into the drawing. So that way you guys are gonna flood our page with his contact information.
I like it.
When I open this up, you get 2 tickets a piece. It's going to be exclamation point Metalshade. We're going to ask a few questions, maybe 10-15 minutes. Or you guys want to wait till after the show to do the drawing? What do you guys wanna do?
We'll do the Q&A, and people can enter by typing in exclamation, or not the Q&A. We'll do the upcoming reviews. While we're doing that, everybody type in exclamation Metalshade, and then we'll
There you go.
we'll see the
right,
final
so-
product and give that away. Sound good to you, Isaac?
Hey, it sounds great.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, Isaac, by the way, man. Really appreciate it. That was fun. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
So still hang out and chat with us. We're gonna go right into upcoming releases and more here in just a second. But please type in exclamation Metalshade to join the giveaway of
It is
this
open
signed
and run.
custom artwork from Izik Bell. Isaac, it has been a true pleasure with you being with us today. Viewers, make sure you go check out the Metalshade website. On the Facebook, and links are there as well to the actual Metalshade Kickstarter, and they'll be coming out with their store to actually purchase issue number 1 here in the next few weeks.
Are we allowed to join? Can we join? It is automatic. It's
I don't
automated,
know.
man. Like,
I don't
I
know.
joined. I put it in to put the
Of course
stuff
you did, dude. You're good. You're good.
I know. But
Anyway,
I'll definitely-
Isaac, you are off camera now, so you can continue working as you see fit.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So, hey, guys, I'm gonna have to take off on you though. I'm sorry. I'd love to stick around, but
That's all right.
Yeah, Roger that.
But
Thank you
we
again, sir.
this was great. I would love to do this again, like you guys were talking about, sometime in the future. And I would definitely be happy to link you up with some other creators that are
we would
putting cool
absolutely
stuff out
love
right now. Yeah,
Absolutely. Where can I get a t-shirt?
they're up. They're going to be up in the store too. I think they're actually there right now.
Yeah,
Fuck.
But
Get one right now.
what's that?
I'm gonna try to get one right now.
exactly. We'll go
That's
buy it
good,
right
bro.
now. All right, Isaac, man. You have a good night, man. Say hello to Alexa for us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you so
guys.
much for joining us.
I really appreciate all of you. Thanks for reading the comic and the feedback. It means a lot.
Of course,
So,
man.
all right. We'll talk to you later.
Later, sir.
Thanks.
Join the damn giveaway. Now,
Dude, everybody's
there's
joining that
24
giveaway.
people. I should see, dude. Wake everybody up. Rock, I don't see you in there.
Rock, calling out Rockin' Cat. Oh man, poor Rock.
Road Rock.
So
what's up with the upcoming
anyway,
news?
that was so much fun. I really appreciate Izik being here and hanging out with us for the time that he had. That was awesome to do our very first interview right here on Tetrad TV. That was great. So upcoming releases. What do we got this week, guys? What do you want to hop into first? We want to do comic books first, since we just did a whole section on
Hell yeah,
on
let's do
Metalshade?
comic books, dude. I'm fucking jacked.
All
I'm
right,
excited.
so there's a whole ton of comics coming out this week.
Oh goodness, yeah.
Whole ton of them, and some of them are a little interesting.
A little interesting. What does that
A little
mean?
interesting. Oh, you'll see. All right, so first up, Giant Size X-Men Phantom X #1 comes out this Wednesday,
Phantom X. Hell yeah.
where Hickman and Reyes take on the world. So that should be interesting in the
We're still
X-Men
talking about-
universe.
All three Phantom X, or we're talking about the one Phantom X?
I don't know. That's the synopsis is about. It's a comic about Hickman and Reyes.
Interesting.
So, yep. Raccoon, this one's for you. Dark
Inside.
Knights Death Metal Legends of the Dark Knights #1 comes out actually tomorrow, interestingly enough. Not on
Yeah.
a Wednesday, but a Tuesday.
We're
is that
starting to
the-
go a little bit further into it, huh?
Yeah,
the
this is
Dark
is
Multiverse.
this the start of the offshoot series, or is it in still? Like,
Here,
so-
here's the synopsis. Dark multiverse where demons dwell and reality is overrun by monstrous versions of the Dark Knight, all ruled by the Batman who laughs.
The Batman Who Laughs, who's no longer called the Batman Who Laughs. He's now the Dark Knight. It's all over the place with that one there. But we're going further into the characters again. We're starting to talk about more, Bat Tyrannosaurus Rex, talking more about the other Batmans out there, the creepy Batmans that populate this dark multiverse. I mean, they keep coming back to it because they keep wanting to experience more and more of the characters that they're building upon and creating this almost subtle, not quite Dark Horse, but definitely along the same lines of Batman-esque, just strictly Batman-esque universes there.
Interesting. And I can't wait to see what happens with that dark multiverse, and if it ever turns into a TV show or movie.
Oh goodness, yeah,
cool.
that would be some mess. I want Kevin
HBO.
Conroy voicing everyone.
HBO
Yeah.
for sure. That would be HBO
That would be
material.
That'd be pretty rough on Kevin Conroy.
Not just Conroy. Like let's get
Mark Hamill too.
Mark Hamill. Yeah, let's get Mark Hamill in there for sure.
You know what? Let's just do them all. Let's do Ben Affleck. Let's do
What?
yeah.
Why
Let's
Ben
hit all the Batmans.
Dude,
all the
Mark
Batmans.
Hamill has been the Joker longer than he's been Luke Skywalker.
I'm not
Um,
saying I understand Mark Hamill, but I'm just talking about
Oh,
we
like
should
all
get
the
all the Batmans.
And
Because
the
it's going to be a
cock
bunch of
He's
Batmans.
also been the cock knocker. Just putting that out there.
Mark
So,
Hamill was a trickster before he was Joker, so
that
Fair.
is true, actually.
That is true.
Nobody
In
got the
the
joke.
in the Flashverse.
Movies. Okay, no. No.
In the Marvel Universe, Lords of Empire, Celestial Messiah #1, Mantis interrupts Koi's ascension. Who will win in this head-to-head battle? So more in the Marvel Empire
Mantis.
series. There's so many Empire books coming out right now. It's crazy. Yeah. In
I love you, Wolverine guy, Kev.
kind of
Yes.
independent comics. This is a monthly series by Robert Kirkman and Chris Samney. Firepower #1. One man wields the firepower to save the world, but turns his back on the hero life. So, that's a new monthly series coming out, which sounds pretty cool.
who's running
actually.
it?
Robert
Marvel-
Kirkman and
Chris
Chris
Samney.
Samney.
Publishing.
I'm not sure who publishes it.
Gotcha.
So more in the Empire universe of Marvel. Marvel's coming out with the Empire Handbook. So the viewers can actually keep track of who's who and what's going on. because there's so much going on in the Empire story.
Oh my gosh, it's such a
So much.
convoluted web.
So they have to come out with an entire handbook to just figure out the characters. Crazy.
Marvel.
Marvel, true. Grenade, I know you read the last Rick and Morty series, but Rick and Morty presents Bird Person #1, where
So-
you see Bird Person's rite of passage, his growth from bird teen to bird adult, and becomes friends with Rick Sanchez, coming out in comic book form.
So with this series, it's not like the last series. They've got there's 4 more series going on at the same time for Rick and Morty.
Yep.
It's
wow.
pretty insane. They got so many going on. It's all done by the same person too. So I would hate to see this guy's workroom, man.
Oh, you start dying.
the whole Rick and Morty verse right here.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. Alien, the original screenplay #1, where Dark Horse Comics turning the Alien screenplay into a comic book form.
That ought to be
Oh
something.
yeah.
That'd be fucking great to read. Now, Alien, as in the original
Yeah.
Alien,
The original.
Alien, the original
Ridley
screenplay.
Scott.
or play
Rid-
off a little bit of the newer old movies.
It would be Ridley Scott's Alien. Like it's just straight up Ridley Scott's Alien as written. Because you guys, some of the inspiration from this, when I looked into this prior to the show, a lot of the inspiration for this came out of Ridley Scott himself. If you guys know him as a director, this guy panels everything. He literally comes in with giant pieces of paper of him storyboarding the screenplay out for that day of shooting. He draws it out by hand, right? It's one of Ridley Scott's signature moves. A lot of that stuff has been kept over the years. People took pictures of it or whatever. And they're using a lot of that as part of the inspiration for this, but I thought it was pretty dope.
Now,
That's awesome.
since you did research with it, are they going to try to do Ridley Scott's artwork, or are they going to try to bring a Geiger type esque artwork still too? Or
Definitely a combo, because Ridley Scott didn't really go into the Geigerish. He was just more interested in the camera angles and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
It wasn't as much the detailed information. So they're filling in those gaps with that detailed H.R. Geiger source material. It looks dark as hell.
Should be very interesting. I
yeah,
love
dude,
the
that
Alien series.
easily one of my favorite movies growing up, for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited.
yeah.
For that. I know Angie would be super stoked too, so we'll probably pick up that here pretty soon.
More in Marvel releases. Maestro, Future Imperfect, Marvel Tales #1, an anthology series with a dark vision of the future, celebrating the legacy of the House of Ideas with the era spanning Marvel Tales. So, anthology
Okay.
Marvel series.
Do you guys know who Maestro is?
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah, Hulk.
Honestly, I don't.
Mhm.
Old Man Hulk.
Old Man
Mhm.
Hulk, really?
Yeah, that's Maestro.
Wow.
With
The
his
more you know, huh?
with his 17 redneck children.
Oh god. Which is
That-
bad.
You know,
Forgot about
I'm always a fan of Marvel's writing, man. I'm a fanboy, so it's hard for me to say I don't like this, but I fucking hate that writing right there. It's so bad. Like literally, like you could take The Hills Have Eyes, and those are the Hulk's kids, man, right there.
Yeah, I'm not really a Savage Land guy either, and some of the
No.
Let's see, what else do we got in comics? So we all know Horizon Zero Dawn. We'll talk about this in a little bit, but coming out to PC this week. There's also a comic book series of Horizon Zero Dawn coming out this week as well. So Horizon Zero Dawn #1, which is a sequel to the Horizon Zero Dawn story in comic book form, with the some of the characters, including Aloy, from Horizon Zero Dawn.
Which
So-
absolutely pissed me off, by the way,
Why?
because that game was slotted to have 3 DLCs, and instead of making 2 more DLCs because they did 1, they're fucking dropping a comic book series, just like Mass Effect Andromeda did, just like Destiny did, man. Like, I like comic books, I get it, but fucking put the DLC in the damn game. Don't make the fuck comic book series, or do a side by side.
True.
another
I
passion
get it.
explosion from hand grenade. I love it.
Right?
I love it.
Let's see. Okay, here's the ridiculous ones. I'm just gonna go through this one real fast. My Little Pony Transformers crossover #1. Enough said.
Yeah,
Okay,
That is
I'm ready,
actually
I'm getting
a
my
thing
daughter's
coming
shutting
out.
down, so that's good.
I'm gonna read that because I want to see either big giant robots step on Care Bears or whatever the fuck they are, My Little
Oh,
My
Pony,
Little Ponies.
or rainbow shits on fucking.
Now, see, I've seen Pinkie Pie fight Deadpool, so I'm super down for some Pinkie Pie against Megatron. Let's make that happen.
All right.
I'm down.
Anyway,
I'm actually down.
enough said.
Left that brony
Vampire
life way long ago.
Vampire the Masquerade #1 comes out this week, which is a horror kind of comic book with vampire stories, and I don't know if it's based on
Tied into the video game
or-
series.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's based on video games.
very well maybe. Conspiracy Men in Black #1, a Men in Black comic book. Wow.
Yes.
Interesting. I didn't know, but I didn't look into this one, so I'm curious.
Galaxy
Exciting.
That's interesting. Men in Black is either really great or it's extremely bad. So I'm hoping this is toward that really great side of that.
The
franchise.
third one, the newest one, was young.
Right.
I watched so much of the Saturday morning cartoons growing up.
Oh, I remember those. Holy shit!
Loved them.
I forgot.
They were
loved
fun.
them, loved them.
Yeah, I forgot about those.
Completely forgot that. They also did a Dumb and Dumber, didn't they? That didn't.
Oh no, that was no good.
That's so good.
So I know last week we talked about actors doing their own comic books, and this time Dan Folger from The Walking Dead and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them has his own comic book coming out called Brooklyn Gladiator #1. It takes place in 2333 New York. It's got a badass action hero, and it's kind of his tribute to comics, films, and experiences that have inspired him throughout his life.
He's a very
Yeah.
good guy. So
If it's anything like the Walking Dead, I probably won't get it just because it's so washed.
it's not like The Walking
Yeah.
Dead. No, don't think of him as that. He's the guy from that everybody remembers from Fantastic Beasts. That was kind of like the everyman, the guy that
Amazing guy.
he got introduced. He's kind of chubby, you know who this guy is. He's seen that, yeah. So
He's
So
also
cute.
in. Isn't he in the is the uncle in what's that show? The Family in the 80s. Not Schooled, but the prior version of that. Fuck, what is that show?
but this guy, like, he's a character. This actor is a character. So I'm
Yeah.
interested to see what Brooklyn.
Balls of Fire. Balls of Fire. He was that. That was him, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
The ping pong master, and he had to go against Christopher Walken.
Yep. That was him.
Yeah,
I-
so that's it, right?
Anyway, so coming out with his own comic.
That's a
Raccoon
cool-
shaking her head.
that movie was horrifying. Great Balls of
Yeah.
Fire. I've marked that out of my memory. I was like,
It's a good movie. What are you talking
It's back.
about?
It's back, and it's
Oh
in your
my.
brain. It
put
clicks
it
like crazy.
away.
Go through these news
It's
articles
like,
right now with us.
I love Christopher Walken. In that movie, it almost
I need to
ruined
get
that. I
a
mean,
little more
almost
balls.
ruined it.
Yeah.
And finally, in comic books, coming out for Free Comic Book Day 2020 this week is Invincible #1, which is a soon-to-be animated series on Amazon Prime, where an everyday kid happens to be the kid of the most super powerful superhero on the planet. So he's the kid of the most powerful superhero.
Sky High.
I don't know who that superhero is, but soon to find out in Free Comic Book Day 2020. From
No, I mean it sounds like the plot from Sky High from the Disney.
Oh.
show.
It doesn't it?
maybe.
Yeah, good call.
I don't know. It's going to be an Amazon Prime animated series. And Free Comic Book Day 2020, The Resistance #1, where Michael J. Starsinski from Babylon 5 and Sense8, and the writer of Amazing Spider-Man, Thor, and Superman Earth 1, comes up with this new universe with heroes and villains, where a global disaster leaves millions dead when people start manifesting powers. So that should be
Why
pretty
was your
interesting.
eye twitching throughout that entire thing, Raccoon?
I don't know.
Probably the same
He's the-
reason why I'm
he's
fine.
the-
Believe it.
He's the
I can
writer of
believe it.
Babylon 5 and creator of Sense8, co-creator of Sense8. So we'll see. We'll see. So,
It's gonna leave that where it is.
so speaking of comic books, don't forget !Metalshade. Enter into this giveaway where
Do it.
you are going to win if you get picked for this sketch that Izik Bell just did, signed Izik Bell sketch of one of the characters from Metalshade. Here it is in all of its glory. Type in !Metalshade and enter to win this. Oh my god, that's so cool. What?
What? That's dope.
What? Anyway,
Biggest
it is
to-
dope.
You guys better fucking enter because you're going against me and Raccoon as well.
Yeah, I mean, I did throw my name in there.
That
Yep.
is true.
It's dope.
All right, so coming out in video games this week, we have a few great releases. Hellbound comes out on PC tomorrow. It's a Doom-like 90s style FPS that's metal AF. It's super metal. Graphics don't look that great, but it is very much inspired by Doom.
Oh, yeah, definitely Doom. Like, that looks very interesting. I'm seeing if you guys just want a gleeful shooter, you're going to run around and put rounds into stuff and watch them jib and explode. It's a game for you.
And not to be mixed up with new Doom, like Doom Eternal or Doom 2016.
No, this is very
Like
much
Doom
original Doom.
1995. Doom.
1995, dude. Yeah. Straight out of that.
So I talked about this at the beginning of the episode. I already pre-purchased this game. Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout comes out on PS4 and PC. It's a Devolver game, kind of like Smash Bros. And Human Fall Flat in a battle royale kind of ridiculousness. I'm excited about it. I'm not gonna lie, that's gonna be a lot of fun. Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout.
Those are fun.
I want you
look
guys
so
to get
excited.
it and play with me. Let's be honest. Let's see. Scully comes out tomorrow on PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch. This one's from Modus Games. It's kind of like a Monkey Ball mixed with Crank. I don't know if you guys
Monkey
played
Ball.
Crank at all
Mhm.
on PS4, but it's kind of both of those put into one, where you play as this
I mean-
like skull who goes around this island and then takes over these different plants and animals and controls them to do different things. So it's kind of a mashup of both of those gameplay styles. It looks pretty interesting.
Incredibly confused how Monkey Ball is about this guy going across the island. What?
No,
I gotta watch the
in this
trailer.
in this game. You play as a skull that is similar to like Monkey Ball style, right? So the skull rolls across the island,
Okay, I see.
Mhm.
yeah, and then it takes control of animals and plants and stuff. So
Sounds interesting.
Monkey Bone.
I know Penn is excited about this game. Tesla Force comes out on PC on Wednesday. Play as Tesla, Lovecraft, Mary Curie, or Mary Shelley in this sci-fi fantasy mashup roguelite featuring Enter the Gungeon-like game mechanics in a beautifully realized world.
It's
I
gorgeous.
Should
feel,
be
like
very cool.
Tesla and Mary Curie in the same room together would cause the biggest explosion you ever saw.
Isn't that outstanding? With Lovecraft. Don't forget, H.P. Lovecraft is here with all his
So-
monsters in this game.
So you're gonna have Mary Curie and Tesla fighting fucking a
Cthulhu.
monster, Cthulhu. Yeah, I'm all on board, man. If they're gonna
Yeah.
make they're gonna
Definitely
make a
dungeon,
foil
like-
and a nuclear bomb to
Yeah.
blow up Cthulhu, I'm all in.
You know, of course, Mary Shelley from Frankenstein, right? That kind of thing. So
I'm still on the line of Tesla and Curie. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a big combo.
and this is a couch co-op thing, but like just looking at it, like you're just like with Enter the Gungeon, where you can't ever sit still. It's like a bullet hell almost. That's what this looked like, except with like super advanced graphics compared to Enter the Gungeon. Like it looks so much different. So this is an indie title, guys. To don't go to sleep on it, man.
It looks good.
Yeah.
In a complete cash grab coming out this Friday, Fast and Furious Crossroads, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Race with weapons in Twisted Metal style, but with a storyline instead of just battle.
What was
Cash
it?
grab.
Sweet Tooth? Was it Sweet Tooth that was in the game? The clown?
Yeah,
Tooth-
Yeah, I
Sweet-
love that
that
game.
was my favorite.
Yeah.
But who
fucking
wanted the
Sweet Tooth-
Fast and Furious game, Twisted
Fuck
Metal
Fast-
style? Who
Yeah.
wanted that?
Nobody.
No one.
Who wanted that? Unless Sweet Tooth is going to come in there and run over Dominic Toretto, I'm not playing it.
Yeah, like,
don't know.
It's like, Fast and Furious, like, I would want to build a crew. I would want to like drive old, awesome, amazing GTOs or whatever. Like hit the franchise on its head on the head.
Well,
not twist
sure.
metal.
So you can drive those,
Well,
but it
God.
has a giant machine gun on the top that you fire at
You
big
losing
tanks
me.
ahead of you.
I just want to know in chat who wanted this game. Who? I don't think
It was
anybody
Rock.
did.
It was Rock.
It was
Rock
Rock.
wanted
It was Rock.
Rock wanted Rock messaged the Rock and was like, "I want this."
Rock and Wolverine guy were like, hey guys, we need a Dominic Toretto and we needed him in cars and we need to crash him. Come on.
No, not crash them. put ridiculously massive weapons in them because that's so on point for the franchise. It happens like every frame, right?
Right?
Right. No,
Totally.
no. My favorite in that whole fucking franchise is when it's two Chargers dragging a fucking bank vault. I was sitting there watching it, going, "This is stupid. I'm never watching one again." Those cars spin out, rip the axles out, like they wouldn't move it, especially pulling out of a. I don't even want to talk about this game anymore. Move to the next one.
Move to the
All
next one.
all right. We can move to the next one.
None of us are happy here, guys.
I'm happy about this one. Horizon Zero Dawn, we talked about it a second ago, comes out this Friday on PC. It's Horizon Zero Dawn on PC. Oh my god, with amazing graphics. I can't wait. It's going to be so good. Right? Aren't you guys excited?
Yeah. Oh, I'm stoked, dude.
Yeah.
I'm super stoked. I'm ready to play this.
I'm super duper uber stoked. So make sure you check that out. I think it's available on Steam right now to pre-purchase. I think there's some pre-purchase stuff in there. So go check it out on your favorite store. All right.
Sorry, hold on, Clink. Dude, I was super interested about the Tesla Force, man. This is like a bullet hell mixed with a Smash TV arcade fucking game, man. This shit looks fun.
Good.
This shit looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude. Tesla Force.
Tesla Force.
Yeah, dude. This thing looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, 10 to the studios, man. They make good stuff.
So these next few video game announcements, they're not really upcoming this week, but it is news in video games. I was reading today that Horizon Forbidden West is not actually going to be out holiday 2020 as a PS5 release right away. It's actually going to be coming out in 2021. And I believe they're also in talks where it's no longer going to be an exclusive, but I haven't confirmed that anywhere yet. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens with Horizon Forbidden West. Being an exclusive, not being an exclusive, and of course, unfortunately, I'm sad about this not coming out when the PS5 comes out. It's a future release date.
Makes you wonder what
So
launch titles they are relying on for this year.
I mean, there's a lot of them, but I think a lot of the games are going to be 2021.
Yeah.
They did make it seem like that it was going to be holiday, though, when they announced it. I thought.
Of course.
Plans change.
Hype train.
Goes the way of Cyberpunk. Delayed forever. Let's hope we get to see Cyberpunk in November.
Not
I can't
forever.
wait.
We're getting
Can't wait.
Cyberpunk.
Wow.
We're all going to cry tears of joy when it comes out. and
So
we'll
did
just,
you guys see the new paneling for that Cyberpunk game, by the way? The new artwork for it?
I know.
They showed the lower east side of the city, and no shit, man, that's Blade Runner. Harrison Ford Blade Runner right there was so cool looking. And they showed the fast travel stations. It was pretty cool. I
can't wait.
The more and more this game creeps up, the happier I am, the more excited I am.
Yep.
You know?
True that.
First game since Spider-Man where it looks like it's actually going to be good.
Right? Well, there's been a few games that I've thoroughly enjoyed since then.
Ghost of Tsushima
Death Stranding.
Ghost of Tsushima's up there with Spider-Man. I love Spider-man too. Me and my buddy Aaron.
I don't know. Death Stranding was pretty overly hyped, but
anyway,
shots fired.
Well, no, Ghost of Tsushima didn't have. Have you
they
played
have
it yet?
any marketing?
No.
Yeah,
I mean, like, Ghost of Tsushima is good, but it wasn't hyped as much as some of the other ones were.
It wasn't hyped.
These are ones that actually look like they've been overly hyped, but in a good state. Like there's a good goal.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. The overhyped games that actually disappoint, but these look like they might actually be good.
How are you guys gonna feel if Cyberpunk sucks? What do you think? Is your world gonna crash?
We're all going to raid the Cyberpunk location.
Right.
I'm going to be very sad.
Yeah. I just move on.
So we've all been playing Rogue Company. Raccoon's going to be playing it this week with us, I believe, for Tetrad Thursday. Can't wait for that.
I thought we were doing Grounded.
I don't know, Grounded or Rogue Company, whichever one we got. But I just wanted to quickly ask you guys, how do you feel about these beta versus fully released games? Like,
hate it.
Is Rogue Company being in beta and still in development okay to be selling for $15 or $60 or buy in-game content?
So what Rogue Company's doing, honestly, Like I fucking hate games that hide behind betas. Me and Penn have had this argument numerous times. 9 times out of 10 we agree, because companies sit there and hide behind betas so that way they can just get the money and not have to fucking account for what they're fucking up. But Rogue Company, I feel like what they're doing is smart. Okay, because I was exploring it. So everybody thinks you're just getting a beta when you're watching a streamer. You're getting the full game. That it's not going to get shut down. You're going to get the full game. But with what they're doing with their beta release right now, or the Founders Pack, is actually a super, super cool idea, because when you buy the Founders Pack for $15, you get all the characters. Now,
No,
when
you
it goes
don't.
free to
I don't have all the characters.
you got to close down the game, then reopen it. That's what's
I've
happened.
started
That's what
it 6
with
different
Maddox.
times.
Okay, so then there's another area you got to go into.
Yeah, you
it
got to because I have access to all characters for the rest of the life of the game.
It happened to Maddox, and he just had to shut it down and reopen it. Chuck, all he had to do is, like, there's an area you got to go to on the PC version, and it'll launch everything, because you got to have that. It'll unlock the code. I'll show you how to do it when we get on there. But you get all the characters. Now, when it goes free to play, from what I understand, it's going free to play. It's just like Fortnite or actually, I wouldn't say Fortnite, because you got
done with Smite and Paladins to date.
Yes.
So
and Apex. You have to earn coins to pick up these people, which is cool. I get it. Or you can buy it for $10, because, like, in the store, the lowest amount of coins you can buy is $9.99. Which, if they're doing it like Apex, you're able to buy one character with that, and you're like 40 coins short. So you got to buy another $10 pack to get that second character, and then you're 40 coins short again. Like, they're screwing that part. But with the $15 pass, with the $15 pass, you're getting everybody, which right now would probably be the best way to do it. You know,
it's value added is the point, and the game works. Like, I have encountered so few bugs, a couple, but so few. It's hard for me to think of this as a beta. I think of it as a release. That's how it's felt. Honestly,
playing on PC, I've only come across one bug, and it's happened to me like 3 times in the 10 hours I played with Rock, and the 4 hours I played with Pen, and like another 10 hours I played by myself. And it's when you're switching from left to over each shoulder really quick, or you're going to ADS, instead of ADSing right behind the shoulder like you're used to with the third person, it stays back a little bit like you're running. So, but the reticle doesn't move. I was still able to kill people, and it fixed itself, but I mean, it's a little wonky, but if you're paying attention to your character, you're gonna get fucked up anyways.
But we don't know when the full release will actually happen.
I just wanted to bring up that because, Rogue Company, is it released? Is it not? All I can find online is that it's released, but we all know it's still in beta. So I don't know when that release date actually is for the full game, but just wanted to ask. Finally, in video games, Pen, I'm gonna let you take this one. Warframe: Heart of Deimos.
Yeah, so what happened this week was there's a couple topics here, because we talked a few episodes back about live events in video games. So what happened because of COVID, obviously, TennoCon couldn't happen this year. Those that are familiar with Digital Extremes and Warframe, they have the big TennoCon every year. It's this big, massive thing. People dress up as Warframes, and there's always huge announcements for the game, because it's obviously a game as a service, right? So there's always new content, new things coming out. This year, even though they've been working from home, what these developers have put out is blowing everybody's minds right now. Yes, you have your complainers. We'll get to that. But with Heart of Deimos, as far as the technical things that they're adding to Warframe, and by the way, this update comes August 25th. So it's coming now, and it's coming to all platforms simultaneously, which is something that they've never actually done before. It always releases PC, and then it comes out delayed on the consoles, but it's coming out full-time. That's another topic for later as well. So what they've revealed is the new Deimos asteroid, or whatever, planetoid, whatever you want to call it. It's a new open world area that's completely infested. And it's also got like the old Orican stuff in it. So they call it the Fleshscape. So this, of course, has its own lore, its own content, its own gameplay stuff. So they revealed that, and they revealed a new community Warframe called Zaku. This is kind of like a Frankenstein's monster Warframe that the community has been asking for and coming up with ideas for in the community for years. And Digital Extremes decided this is the time. Let's make this Warframe. This is for the community. So this guy his abilities are kind of weird, and they seem disconnected, but the way, because he's multiple frames that are jammed together using void energy, but he could do things like steal your weapons enemies, and they shoot at your enemies and things of that nature. So that's dope. And then the biggest announcement, of course, was in relation to longtime players like me, like everybody complains Warframe never has content for the longtime players and blah blah. But they announced you're gonna have an infested helmet in your actual ship, and there's like an infested chair.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I'll get into that. So there's a room in your life set on your personal ship that has this creepy infested chair. It's been there for years. You can get your infested zits popped in this chair, and that's been all this chair has existed for. That's all it's been there for. It's gross. It's grody. Now there's going to be a literal mouth, like a Jim Henson's Shop of Horrors kind of mouth, right at the back at the back of this room, and you can feed it your extra stuff. You literally feed it your extra stuff, right? So people ask, what do I do? I have a million alloy plates. What do I do with them? You feed them, and then you can then add new abilities to your Warframes. Maybe you don't like Mace's first ability. Now you can replace it with something from the helmet. But wait, there's more. Where's Billy Mays when you need him? They've added something to this that nobody saw coming, where all Warframes are going to have one ability that you can train to use on all your other Warframes.
What?
Yeah, so you have to build like an extra Rhino, an extra Mag. We use Mag as an example. It's what they used for TennoCon this year. That you feed a Mag to this helmet, and now you can use Pull on any of your Warframes. You can replace one of their abilities. So that's, of course, obviously a game changer for customization and Warframes and all that stuff. So that's the really big news with TennoCon 2020. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I might have to try out Warframe. I know I booted it up not too long ago, found out my account was suspended because I hadn't logged in for 7 years, but got it unsuspended, I think. And anyway, I'll try it out. Why not? Yeah,
I mean, the state of the game I don't think has ever been better. At least they're continuing to listen to their players and try to get content into the game that matches it. Of course, you still have your people that are going to complain, well, what do I do when I'm done with it? You played it, so why are you complaining? Like, you know what I mean? There's always those voices on YouTube that are in the Warframe community that I'm going to continue to call out on this show because it's unhealthy for the newer players. Oh, which, by the way, more stuff they've released. They're going to release with this a brand new player experience as well.
Gotcha.
To kind of to teach you more about the ins and outs and how to do. Like, for example, my friend Simon, I was teaching playing Warframe with just last week. He had no idea you could power jump and go super high. He had no idea you could do that because it's not in the new player experience, but all that stuff's going to be in there now. So Heart of Deimos, August 25th, bunches of new stuff, guys. Enjoy.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Excited to hear more about that and see more content. So moving on to TV shows. Actually, you know what? Let's do anime first. Anime first before we jump into TV shows, because anime is TV, right? All right, so Goblin Slayer this last week, Crunchyroll just released the new Goblin Slayer movie, which is so good. Goblin Slayer is almost like, if you haven't watched it, it's basically The Mandalorian with fantasy. Like, Goblin Slayer is amazing. I love Goblin Slayer. It was so cool. And it came out right around the same time as The Mandalorian. So new movie came out on Crunchyroll. Go watch it. It's pretty freaking awesome. I haven't watched it yet, but I saw the trailers.
I got halfway through it, and so far it's fucking amazing. I liked Goblin Slayer a lot, dude. A whole lot. And the movie is fucking phenomenal so far.
Nice. That's what I'm expecting from it.
I'm not a big like knights and dragons type of person. Never really have been. I like my sci-fi shooters and stuff like that. But dude, Goblin Slayer's armor is fucking rad. Like, he just looks cool.
Yeah, the art does look amazing for sure.
Yeah.
I have not seen it though.
Finally, in anime, Seven Deadly Sins has a new season coming out. Imperial Wrath of the Gods, releasing on Netflix on the 6th. So 3 more days for season 4 of Seven Deadly Sins. So
I'm so excited.
That's it for anime this week. And I say every week, it's summer season. Go watch everything that's out there because it's good.
Almost
TV. So in TV shows, Quibi has a new show coming out today, actually. It's called The Fugitive, featuring Kiefer Sutherland as not Jack Bauer working for not CTU. Damn it. Kiefer Sutherland is back as the director of the CTB, is what they call it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And
Hell yeah.
but he's not the center character. He's actually trying to find this guy who's wrongly accused of blowing up something, and this guy who's wrongly accused wants to stop the next bombing. And so Kiefer Sutherland's character is the director of this counter-terrorist group that is trying to find this guy. So
it's literally The Fugitive. Like,
it is.
Yeah.
It's about the
literally
fugitive.
Yeah.
But Jack Bauer not Jack Bauer is still in it.
Right. It wasn't me. It was the one-armed, one-eyed, one-legged man.
That's basically it.
They actually did a movie, a sequel to the original Fugitive with Wesley Snipes and the guy who's always angry.
Tommy Lee Jones.
And that was a super good movie.
It had
too.
Robert
That was a
Downey
great
Jr.
movie.
as well.
Yeah, it was Robert Downey Jr. in it. Yeah, it was a great movie.
Yeah.
I
Great
enjoy.
movie.
U.S. Marshals.
Yep, good movie.
Yes.
I enjoy those older actors like Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones and stuff like that. They make good movies.
They are good.
They do.
The Coroner comes out on CW, which I believe is actually a British show that already released, or Canadian show that already released, but it's getting its American debut on CW. It's about a woman who investigates deaths and is a coroner and starts to see supernatural things. So yeah, it already premiered in Canada, so all you Canadian viewers, you've probably already seen it, but for us US viewers, we get to see it for the first time. And it actually looks really decent.
It does.
So iZombie with ghosts.
Don't
kind
do
of.
a grenade. Oh, he did it. He chewed on it.
It's a little darker.
Shoot
It's a
on this
little
mic.
darker.
I saw that coming grenade a mile away.
I don't know. It's gonna be things.
We talked about it last week, but Star Trek Lower Decks is coming out, which I was really surprised that they're already releasing this, at least like the first 4 episodes, I think. Coming to CBS All Access. It's a Star Trek animated comedy, kind of like Family Guy, but in the Star Trek universe. So
It's for adults. Yep, definitely for adults.
Definitely for adults. We'll see how it is. I have high expectations of it because I feel like Star Trek is doing well with their IP, and CBS is doing well with that IP and how they're presenting it. So
Hold on, real quick. Raccoon, can you raise your right arm this and pen your left arm this just a little bit? Like kind of just an inch? No, like this. Like ha type thing.
Okay.
other arm pen.
Is the other arm? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that-
Uh,
no,
Here.
like this. Like this.
Like this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, now turn it, Raccoon.
What are we doing? Why?
So
Because
Metalshade, of course. Make sure
Sorry.
you viewers type in !! Metalshade to have a chance to win this signed sketch that Izik Bell just did for us live here on the show.
Oh, that's
If
why
you want to
want me
win,
like,
type in ! Metalshade now, and we'll be giving that away by the end of the show here in the next 20 minutes. So go
Grenade.
type it in right now! !
I'm sorry.
Metalshade.
I had to. The door was open. You're Vanna Whiting it right now.
But
You're
yes,
Vanna Whiting.
Star Trek Lower Decks. Definitely
Star
definitely
Trek
excited
Lower Decks,
for-
very cool. Wizards comes out on Netflix on the 7th, which is this Friday, which actually looks like a really cool show. It's actually a kids show done by DreamWorks Animation and a 3D Pixar style TV show. It's basically isekai for kids and American audiences where magic is real and he gets teleported into another universe, and it's made by Guillermo del Toro.
Yep, that's enough. That's all I need to know.
What?
Well,
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's going to be good.
It's
Yeah.
something like Guillermo del Toro. I'm on board.
Yep. So kids show Wizards comes out on Netflix on Friday, which I'm going to go watch it. And finally, in the shittily drawn world of Adult Swim, we have Yellow Crystal Fantasy,
Yeah.
which is just ridiculous Adult Swim.
It
shit.
looks terrible. Like, what is going on over at Adult Swim right now? Are they just like, you know what? Nobody's making anything because it's Corona. Hey, wasn't there that one asshole who dropped us off that demo a while back? Let's just throw that up.
Right?
Put that
so
on
bad.
screen.
Dude.
Like,
Dude, the Adult Swim used to be so fucking rad, man. That's where
Right.
you got to see your animes, like the Samurai Jacks.
oh,
the
yeah, it'd be
Bleaches.
Operation
Oh.
Hunger Force and then Cowboy
Yeah,
Bebop on the same night.
right?
Like, yeah, it used to be so good.
Dude, I
and
was-
then now,
What was it? what was that guy who he does like the incredibly realistic trailers? He's like, hey, here's
Honest trailers, yeah.
yeah,
I shared that today.
yeah, he's like, you just missed Walk Between Hunger Force. So you're like, well, I'll watch this. A universe set in jazz. I think I'm hooked. I was like, this shit's so good.
One more time, exclamation mark Metalshade. I want all of you viewers to type that in now for a chance to win that beautiful sketch right in the middle of our screen right there. Type it in right now. Last chance. We got one more section to do before we give that away. And 3 of us are entered into it from here in the Tetrad. So, you're fighting against us for it too.
There is literally like 19 people watching and not 19 people in the drawing. So you're only making this easier for all of us.
All right. In the world of movies, a video-on-demand movie, Crushed, is coming out. It's a comedy indie film. It's basically American Pie and with Tinder. And it looks really fun.
Huh.
CRSHD, Crushed.
Who's in that?
So, it's a very indie film, but it looks hilarious.
Super indie? Okay.
Yeah. So I just wanted to mention it because it looks fantastic and really funny. And, high school romance kind of thing. I enjoy it. Reminds me of high school days.
Yeah, I mean, you lost me when you said
There's no high school
American
romance
Pie.
that I'm like, I want to go back to that.
Come on, but American Pie, that was great. That's classic.
I'll never watch those again, man.
All right.
Yeah, probably not.
All
They
right.
grenaded me in
Day
10.
13 is coming out tomorrow. It's a horror, another indie film. It's basically the movie version of Outlast, right? The video game Outlast. So a kid goes into this abandoned house, and it's most definitely haunted by satanic rituals. And they're like, oh, what's in this house? Let's go in with this camera. I'm going in alone with this camera. And all this crazy shit starts happening. So if you want to watch Outlast in movie form, I think that's the one, Day 13. I know Penn really would like to see that because Penn plays Freaky Fridays with Outlast.
Not anymore. It's Faction Fridays.
anymore,
After Outlast 2 and playing some of that, you know what? I'm done for a little bit. I'm good streaming that stuff. That was a little fucked. A little bit too much for my channel.
It's pretty gnarly. So
I'm going to be doing some Five Nights at Freddy's streams pretty soon. So
But that's not scary.
there.
That's just ridiculous.
that's just
horrifying.
ridiculous. It is horrifying and ridiculous. Netflix has a comedy coming out, Malibu Rescue: The Next Wave, which is basically modern day Baywatch hosting a lifeguard competition. And it looks really funny.
Nah.
So I'll watch it.
What? Raccoon's like, I don't even understand.
I just like saying ridiculous things. That's about it. Seth Rogen has a new comedy coming out on HBO Max this Thursday, which is An American Pickle. This is a fairly actually new addition to the HBO Max lineup. And so Seth Rogen plays an Eastern European man who moves to America, falls into a pickle vat, and basically is preserved in a pickle vat for 100 years and meets his grandkids, played by Seth Rogen, 100 years later, and has to figure out how to live in modern day life, even though he's, over 130 years old or whatever.
I'm Pickle Seth.
I'm Pickle Seth.
And it's
Exactly.
a Vat of Acid episode all rolled up into one. Right
I
now.
mean, I support this. It sounds amazing.
So that looks like a pretty actually fantastic film. So An American Pickle coming out on Thursday, HBO Max.
Yeah, I'm probably going to watch it just to hear them laugh.
Right?
Like that. Yeah, exactly.
Did you guys read the book The Secret Garden as a kid? Any of you
Yes.
guys?
Mhm.
Yes. So The Secret
Great
Garden
movie.
is getting another movie release based on the book that we all read as kids, coming out on the 7th, so Friday, video on demand. It looked like really cool fantasy. I enjoy the story. If you enjoyed the story, this is basically a modern version of that. So looks good. I saw the trailer. I liked it.
Who made this?
I think it would have been in theaters, but is not in theaters.
Yeah, I'm just taking a quick look here. So, okay. Look at the director. Try to see. Yeah, this would have been in theaters. Got Colin Firth in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big name actors.
Yeah.
pretty
This
big
looks
name.
pretty dope, actually.
Yep. So check it out, The Secret Garden, this Friday on video on demand rentals. So yeah. Another one on video on demand, a horror movie. So I like these ridiculous plots. They're so great. So this one actually has some big name actors, but it is an indie film. She Dies Tomorrow, where this woman thinks that she's going to die tomorrow, and that thought becomes contagious, where her friends start thinking, "Oh my God, I'm going to die tomorrow," and I think they do. I don't know. Good psychological horror movie with some big name actors.
Another Death is Coming for You horror film.
Kind of like that. So we have 2 more movies that we're gonna go through, but first, just want to say one more time: type in !Metalshade, enter for a chance to win that sketch that's in the middle of the screen right there, signed by Izik Bell. He just did it for us live on the show for the interview we just did with him, and you could win it. So type that in right now in chat, !Metalshade, because we're gonna be giving that away here in like 5 minutes. So these last 2 ones, Shia LaBeouf has a new movie coming out, and he does not look like Shia LaBeouf.
He does not. Not in this.
Not in this.
Dude,
So
he's catching all the flack for that show too.
The Tax Collector comes out this Friday on video on demand. He's an LA gangster who collects money from the gangs in LA as like the tax collector, right? And I guess he actually got the real tattoo on his chest for this movie.
Yeah, he really got the
Yep. So this one looks freaking crazy. If you want to see Shia LaBeouf being crazy Shia LaBeouf, this is the movie for it. So go check it out. The Tax
That's
Collector.
what the conversation is. Grenade mentioned the flack that he's getting, and that's, I think right now it's not a good look. Ever since you don't want to look at one event and say it, but the catalyst, the last thing on the coffin was kind of Heath Ledger's Joker, right? So like when you go all out for a role now, like the method acting kind of puts people off right from the start, and I think that's what's giving people pause. Like he got the tattoo. Like, is he going to go try hard Shia LaBeouf here? And
He
that's
always
worrying
has.
people.
Here's the thing about Shia LaBeouf: he's not a bad actor.
No, he's
He
not.
really
He
isn't.
looks
He's
freaking
like
insane in this movie.
he was in a running to
He
be a
does look
Wolverine at one point in time, and I was all for it because he looks like he could be that angry dude. But with how he is, though, it's like the whole he got a tattoo on there, right? And he's supposed to be was he supposed to be Spanish or like a Mexican gangster type deal? And he's not. He's catching a lot of shit for that too. Like
for that,
especially with this community. And
I think he plays it really well, though. Is where he's
right,
going with as an actor with it,
right? I agree.
We'll
I
have to see. That's just what the conversation is. I mean, but we'll have to see. I'm interested. For sure.
I'm interested to watch this movie. I want to see it.
Have you guys seen the Peanut Butter Falcon?
Yes,
I have.
That was
finally
a phenomenal movie.
I got to watch it with Angie, actually.
It was a phenomenal movie. And if he does any kind of acting, like along that realm of acting, it'll be a good movie.
But he's good in Fury, too. I mean, let's be real.
When I was watching that movie or the trailer for this, for the Tax Collector, I got the opposite version of, what was that movie with, not Training Day, but it was like the sequel to Training Day. It was the 2 cops like trying to get out of town because they had done something, had Espinosa or some.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the name.
But that's what the Tax Collector reminds me of, is the dark version of that, or just another like the gangster side of Training Day. You know what I mean?
I could see that. Anyway, we'll see what the Tax Collector brings. It's gonna be real interesting. Finally, before we wrap up the show, the last movie announcement is Waiting for the Barbarians. This one's got Johnny Depp and Robert Pattinson, and they're British Army soldiers trying to control the Arabian desert. One looks pretty crazy, and it would have been
trailer was bonkers,
out in theaters. The trailer was just madness, and I'm excited to see this movie. Johnny Depp in not really a Johnny Depp role. I don't know. It's like this crazy commander man, and
which is good, right? Let's break out.
Follows Thank you, Chuck. End of watch.
Oh, end of watch. Yeah, but anyways, like seeing Johnny Depp break out of his little shtick is great. I think it's going to be good for his career. It's good overall because he's a good dude. He's capable of more than what he's done.
Chuck, you're entering now. !Metalshade to possibly win that beautiful piece of artwork that was sketched on stream with Izik Bell.
That's right. This is the last chance. Last chance right now. Type that in chat. !Metalshade. One word. To enter for a chance to win that beautiful piece of sketch artwork done by Izik Bell, co-creator of Metalshade, right here live on the show. Enter to win right now. Type it in, because we're going to be giving that away here in just a minute. So before we give that away, if you guys have any questions for us, we're going to be taking questions as well here in a few minutes. But if you'd like to ask us questions, now is your chance. Enter Metalshade, giveaway, that thing. But let's talk about what we're doing on Tetrad this week. Community Spotlight Wednesday with Last Pen Fighter. That's happening on Wednesday from 6 to 10 Pacific, I believe. I hope so.
That's the plan. I missed the last couple ones, so
that is the plan.
Who we got? You got somebody lined up already, or?
Oh, I've got 4 people that are like wanting to do it because I missed one last week and the week before. So
Okay.
So check that out this Wednesday with Penn. Tetrad Thursday, we're either going to be playing Rogue Company or Grounded, where all 4 of us get together and play a game together. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah, it is. I'm super stoked.
Either
I love
way,
you guys.
it's going to be great.
Fuck yeah.
So check that out on Thursday evening. Faction Friday in the afternoon, where me, Penn, and Raccoon play Elite Dangerous. Have a lot of fun doing that, flying around. Some of us with our Jotas, our X52 hands-on throttle and stick, and it's so much fun. Raccoon needs one desperately because it changes the name of the game. MMO Saturdays with me, Neelink, where I play through a MMO, and if anybody wants to play with me with that, please feel free. If you are able to play an MMO, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV, any of those kind of things. Finally, on Sunday, our weekly episode rerun, where we rerun this episode for all of you viewers out there on the East Coast who can't make it to the live show. And we answer questions live at the end of that. So I haven't seen any questions in chat. Any last entries into the Metalshade giveaway? ! Metalshade. Come on. Last opportunity to do it. Drum roll, please. All right, I don't see any more entries. Grenade, let's give that big old cookie away.
Type it in now.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right.
We've given everybody their chances. Now is
If you
the literal
have
final
questions as well,
chance.
if you have questions for Well right now, do it. Type them up. If you got questions about the episode, about us, anything you want to know what I had for breakfast, let's do it.
Give me a countdown, or all I gotta do is just click a button.
All right,
I'll give you a
10,
countdown.
9, 8,
Type it.
7,
Type it. Type it.
6, 5,
One of a kind.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Nunchuck Norris, 19 or 9.
Look,
Oh, see?
look,
Nunchuck
you
Norris
were
is
the
1.
last one to input, and you won. Look at that.
Look at that.
Congratulations,
You have
Nunchuck
won.
Norris. You have won that beautiful sketch signed piece of artwork from Metalshade co-creator Izik Bell. Congratulations, man. Proud of you. Thanks for joining us here on Tetrad TV. Woo! I really
Heck
wanted
yes. So did I. But it's all good.
that. It's
Good job,
all
Nunchuck.
good. So make sure you join us throughout the week. Any last farewells for our audience, guys?
I'm coming to your house, Chuck, and I'm cutting your throat and stealing that painting.
Wow.
Wow.
He's
That's
not doing
right.
that. This is not what the Tetrad supports.
Oh,
No,
he's
the
my
Tetrad
buddy.
does not.
He knows I'm gunning for him.
support
He
this.
knows it. I'll split it 4 ways with you guys.
4 ways. No, I'm not good. I just appreciate everybody hanging out, man. Izik Bell, thank you so much for popping on and being a part of this episode tonight, being our first interview. I think it went pretty well. We had a great time, and I appreciate everybody in
Absolutely.
chat hanging out, listening in, supporting the Tetrad channel. You guys are the real heroes here.
And if you
That's
want
right.
more, you like this, you stuck around for Isaac, and you stuck around the rest of the episode, feel free to follow, subscribe. We'll be here every Monday at 8 with more interviews, with more podcast style reviews, all sorts of things. Just keep us in mind.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Check out our YouTube channel where we have all of these uploaded to YouTube, of course, right here on Tetrad TV. Any final words, Grenade?
Also, Clink has a TikTok. Go follow him there.
I don't
Yeah,
have a
follow
TikTok.
Clink's TikTok.
I don't have a TikTok. Why do I have a TikTok?
Clink's got a TikTok. Go follow him.
We're going to raid somebody here in just a
We
second.
are rating Dan Likes to Play tonight, so everybody say hey to Dan for the Tetrade, and we'll see you all throughout the week and next week for Tetrad TV. Bye-bye!